What's up? What's up? What's up? It's our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. We were out the last Tuesdays as we were out on assignment, but we're back and ready to roll. Now, I'm here at the 1:15 hour. We're going to have on the newest 2023 Arkansas offer and offensive guard, Braden Joyner. He's out of Oxford, Alabama, the Oxford High School. The big fellow will be on here at the 1:15 hour. And then the newest Arkansas commit in 2022 class, and we've always talked about that class. We had him on several weeks ago, but said he's ready to be a hog, and we'll have him on to explain why. Eli Henderson, the big offensive lineman, he's going to be a center here at Arkansas out of Byron High School in Duncan, South Carolina, one of the elite programs in the state of South Carolina. And this is a big pickup, as he was one of the first to get offered a scholarship to the University of Arkansas under Coach Sam Pittman. Almost instantaneously when he arrived in Fayetteville, was ironically one of the first offers. It was the first offer for Eli when Sam was at Georgia. So we'll get all that information from the big fella here coming up. But I want to bring in my guy. The decisions are coming down. The decisions have to be made today and as we get close to the football season. But the Big Ten, what do you think they're going to do? I myself think that the SEC, ACC, and the Big 12 will proceed on with their football season. Where are you at? I think play football. Play football.
Yeah, I think in some way, form, or fashion, we're going to have football. I'm not sure how long they're going to play football. I'm not sure, what all the details of who's going to play who, and if there's going to be conferences. There's a lot of buzz going on saying there's going to be a super conference. So there's a lot of things still, I think, is up in the air for how college football will be played 2021.
I've been really impressed by the head coaches of these institutions and how they're speaking out for their players. I mean, I get it. When you go through all the protocol that these young men and coaching staffs and support staffs have gone through, and to come up on a point where you're just about a week out of beginning fall camp, and then to be told that maybe we won't have the season, I mean, that's demoralizing, Demetrius. I mean, that is a situation where people say, well, just cancel football. It's way more than football. I get all the medical deal. I get the liability that the NCAA wouldn't want to be a part of. But at the same time, where are we sending these kids back to? These environments that they're going back to. I'm real in tune with social media. Twitter, as you know, this is what we have to be in the media world nowadays. And I'm very aware of what's being said and what's being tweeted from these athletes about this is all I have. I mean, where are these athletes? Are they safer? Demetrius, my question would be, are they going to be safer not playing football and leaving their semi-bubble and getting out and intermingling and being a normal student? Or do you think it's better to go ahead and keep these young men in a bubble-type situation? Because you could create a bubble on your campus if that's what had to happen. I'd take the largest dorm, and I talked about that earlier. Take the largest dorm on campus, put all your athletes in that building, and quarantine those kids. That you continuously have a centralized testing station, so you know how your athletes are progressing each and every day with this pandemic. I mean, that's something that could be talked about amongst all these institutions. I mean, if I were a chancellor or a president or an AD, that'd be something that would definitely be on my let's check out list.
Yeah, I don't know what's the right answer. I'm no specialist or doctor. I think some of these kids, they are better deserve staying at college just with the attention they'll receive, making sure they eat. Everybody doesn't have the economic the economic balance that some people have. Some of these kids are going back to poverty situations where they don't even eat 3 meals a day. So some of these kids are better suited to go to college and try to play football, or at least reap the rewards of being a scholarship player on the university. As far as how to conduct it, that's hard to say because each institution has different budgets. Each institution has different facilities. So, you don't want to make anything one-sided to where people feel, oh, because they have this over here, they have an advantage, because
Right.
that's already bound to come. Somebody's going to complain and say something's uneven. So there's a lot of minute details that these guys have to figure out and kind of think through, and I think this was kind of just a wake-up call.
And I told you earlier before we came on the air, Demetrius, hey, you may cancel the football season in the Big Ten, but hey, there is such thing as this transfer portal that's been so highly active the last 2 years when its inception was put in place. So these kids could actively seek out the transfer portal for reasons to go to a school that they can play at this season. I mean, everything's on deck. Everything is absolutely on deck when you have coaches coming out, and I take I read the article yesterday with Jim Harbaugh, how at Michigan 893 tests have been administered and only 11 positive cases throughout that, and that's since June 15th when those kids arrived on campus until just Sunday when the report came out. So, I mean, I'm trying to figure out where the end say if you do cancel, you don't have a plan. What is the plan? Oh, let's just move it back to spring sports. Not that easy. Not that easy. I mean, you look at Rakeem Boyd, who has a chance to play himself into a high first-round draft position. But if you take away this football season for Rakeem and a lot of fifth-year seniors and guys that are, big-time rising seniors that are going in their fourth year that are looking for big-time seasons to enhance their draft stat, if you take that stuff away, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's about more than just football. I mean, there's lives, the mental side of things for these athletes, the emotional side. I mean, all that plays a part in this big-time decision. But I think this week, college football will take a turn unlike we've ever seen it. It will never be the same. I do think that when this ends, that when all this plays out, the NCAA is going to find themselves on the outside looking in. I think that's just what I think, Demetrius. But let's get this thing going. Let's get the Hog Guys going, and let's head all the way to Oxford, Alabama, where we're about to bring on the big fella, 2023 offensive guard, Braden Joyner. He's about to take the stage. It's on the hill, and it's our Tuesday edition on KDSJ 479. Let's get it. Well, welcome back. It's our Tuesday edition here up on the hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479, and we come to you each and every day from 1 to 2 p.m. And real quick, let's give a thank you and a shout out to the sponsors that make this possible. With that being said, Lindsay and Associates, Locomotion, Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and the last one, KDK's Chicken. I want to give a shout out to those big-time sponsors. And now, on to our Hog Guy segment. We've been doing this for months, and we can't stop because neither do they. Coach Sam Pittman and their staff are looking to make a brand even beyond the 21s and the 22s. They understand that 23 class is going to be real important going forward for this program. And what better way to make their way to Oxford, Alabama? Well, they made an offer to 2023 offensive guard prospect out of Oxford High School, Braden Joyner. BJ, Welcome to OTH.
What's up?
What's up, my man? Let's talk about recruiting. Arkansas comes in, Coach Brad Davis, Sam Pittman, Coach Jimmy Smith, and staff. I know Jimmy Smith is your lead recruiter. They offered you yesterday. Talk about that conversation, and how is the recruiting process going for you, BJ, so early heading into your sophomore season?
It was a great talk yesterday with Coach Jimmy and Coach Davis. They just love my film. Told me they love to grow a relationship with me, and we just going further from there. They offered me.
When you look at that situation where Coach Pittman recently was the head offensive line coach there at the University of Georgia, now head coach here at Arkansas, when you have an offensive line coach that will be your head coach and places such an emphasis on the line of scrimmage, how big is that to know that your head coach really wants the most important spot on the football team to be the offensive line?
Yeah, that's real big right there. That means like Arkansas are looking for the best of the best O-line, and I'm proud to be one of them.
When you look at all the schools recruiting you so early, who are some of the schools, just to name a few, that have offered you scholarships to this point, B?
Georgia, Michigan State, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Maryland, a few more.
Now, you play there at a very, very well-known high school football program there at Oxford, Alabama, at Oxford High School. Talk about that program and what that means to you to be able to play in a program that is so successful. How will that help you? Because you have a couple more years, 3 for sure, before you make the Power 5. How does that help you in playing in a program that's so highly expected each and every year to perform? And like I said, you guys are coming off the state championship.
Yes, sir. It puts a lot of pressure on you because we had great players like KJ Barrett, Kendall McCollum, Clay Webb, Christian Booth, J-Rock Swain. We had a lot of great players come through Oxford, and I want to be like the best one to come through, actually.
Bray, when you looked at those guys recruiting-wise, I mean, like you said, you just mentioned great players, enhanced, great program. College coaches are going to come to that high school. By watching those guys go through their process, how do how has that helped you so early? I mean, to this point.
It's helped me a lot because like Kendall McCollum and KJ Britt, they helped me out a lot, and Christian Booth. That was like Christian Booth and J-Rock Swain really got me to where I wanted to be. They worked me every day, and it just paid off.
Braden, when you looked at your tape and you started on the varsity as a freshman, I want all our listeners to kind of wrap your mind around that. But when you sat down after last season and you watched that tape, what were you really feeling good about, and what are some of the things here in the off season that you've been in the lab working on to make better so you can have an even better sophomore year?
I thought my film was great for a freshman, and then like you said, I'm working on a lot more pass blocking and stuff, and a lot of finishing blocks already. Like, even though I already do it, it's just I need to do some more.
Talking with Braden Joyner of Oxford, Alabama, Oxford High School. He's a 2023 offensive guard who's just recently been offered by Coach Brad Davis, Sam Pittman, and the University of Arkansas. But you told me something, Braden, that really floored me when I watched your tape. You are a 14-year-old kid, just turned 15, but you played most of last year as a 14-year-old. What was that like? And also, too, how does that help prepare you? I mean, to play at such a young age in the highest classification and have some success, how's that feel, D?
It feels good because, like, I stood out as a 14-year-old on a 6A state championship team, so it's kind of great.
No pressure, or is there any type of pressure?
It was a little pressure at first, but once I got the hang of it, it wasn't too much I had to worry about.
Now, I know you just told me earlier today your mom's going to play a big factor, and she told you had a 8-hour limit to where you can pick your schools. But talk about that, Braden. How important is it to have a mom that really is very focused on both the football and the academic side of things?
It's great because like a lot of people don't have a lot of support from their parents sometimes. Like, I'm glad I have a mom and a dad that support me and push me for everything I do.
And by the way, Arkansas is 7 hours
from
where you at. But I'm not trying to tamper, but man, I can't be doing any of that. I don't want the SEC to find me. Maybe a credential or two. You never know about that. But, when I'm at the football stadium, Braden, I got popcorn and my soda pop. Ball kicked off, number 75. What type of football player will I see in BJ for 4 quarters?
You're gonna see a dominant offensive line, you're gonna be like, wow, this kid got it. He got all the talent in the world.
When you looked at Coach Pittman, and you sat down and watched the draft this year, Georgia's only 2 first-rounders, ironically, just coincidentally, were Coach Pittman coached offensive linemen. How does that feel? And where does that help Arkansas? Does it help, hurt, or still have time to, soak it all in?
I got time to soak it all in, for real.
Now, I have every athlete. We have our superstitions on either what we have to wear or what we like to eat. What's yours, BJ?
What you say? What?
What's your superstition? What is that you have to do the night before the game?
Go get a haircut.
Hey, I'm with you. Look good, feel good, play good type of method. I get that. Now, we riding around the city of Oxford. Me and you with the OG. Braden, what's the first 5 songs on the playlist, my man?
Lil Boosie, already.
Ooh, that's number 1. Give me some more.
Some young boy, little baby, nothing too serious. Little Tupac, little Biggie, ain't nothing too serious.
I like that. Well, hey, I'm gonna make a statement, and if you would like you to finish this for me. When football is done with for Braden Joyner of Oxford, Alabama, Oxford High School, he's played Power 5 football at his school of choice, went on and played at the highest level, which is the NFL, and then that day comes up, ball goes flat, shoes, pants, shoulder pad, and helmet all put up in the locker room. What's life like after football for Braden Joyner of Oxford, Alabama, Oxford High School?
I want to be a barber. I want to do something that helps out the community and do some more like construction work down here or something like that. Help out everybody in the community.
Now, I've had 2 of your buddies on, and I know you guys have a little group chat y'all got going on, but I've had TJ Shanahan and Big Peyton PK Kirkland. Talk about those guys, and how much are you guys hoping that it works out and you can attend the same university? Is that going to be something that's going to be a big priority for you guys?
Yeah, so them like my brothers. Like I just like when it's all sitting there, we'll all be at the same school, and everybody gonna get the top 3 aligners in the nation.
Man, well, hey, my man, I'm loving this. Hey, we got a long journey, and this can't be the last time we have you on. Our show is your show. Our line is your line. Let's have some Braden Joyner updates when this football season gets kicked off. You down with that, my man?
Yes, sir.
All right, bud. Hey, I'll tell P and TJ that you said what's up, and then we're going to do a 3-way call. I'm going to have to get all 3 of you guys on there. I think that would be something the listener would definitely love. You think we need to make that happen?
Yes, sir, of course.
All right. Well, hey, you have a blessed one, BJ, and thanks for taking time out here, and have a great sophomore year.
Yes, sir.
That was Braden Joyner, the big 2023 offensive guard prospect out of Oxford High School, Oxford, Alabama. Demetrius, 14 years old, starting on the 6A state championship team at 14 years old as a freshman. My goodness.
I'm a little embarrassed. If I'm the opponent I'm on the defensive line and he blocking me, I'm embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, 14 years old, and I know you listeners that watch our show and you had a chance to watch Braden. There's nothing 14 about that guy. There's nothing on the football field that lends you to believe that this is a freshman in high school. I mean, did you see anything that?
Not at all. I mean, he has the size. I mean, maybe if I listen to him talk, I can kind of tell. I can hear the youth in him. But other than that, just physically seeing his physique on the field and the way he plays and the technique that he uses, I would have never thought of it.
I mean, and that just goes to show when you look at continuously the type of offensive lineman that Coach Sam Pittman and Brad Davis are trying to attract to the University of Arkansas and to play in the SEC going forward. You have to feel like he's the man. That's the GOAT, and you knew that. Wherever Sam goes, so goes the landscape of offensive line play. It's just a proven fact. He's done it at North Carolina, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, Georgia, and as a head coach, I think he's really going to establish himself going forward in the SEC. But we're going to take a quick break because we got one that came up and he told Sam, yes, he wants to be a part of the Our-Time 22 class. We had him on a couple weeks ago, and now we're going to let you hear him tell the reasons why he wants to come back to Fayetteville for the next 3 to 5 years of his life. Eli Henderson of Duncan, South Carolina, Barney High School. He's up next. The new Hog's about to speak. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it. I can get some chicken and waffle. I know. KDK's Chicken at 989 South Razorback Road. Get on down there and see Keith and Kathy. Get a plate of that love. And like they say on their building, it's not your mama's. The best chicken and waffles in the South. They even got chicken wings. And they got these things called loaded fries. I think you might want to get on down there. Meet me down there or see me down there. KDK's Chicken at 989 Razorback Road. Welcome back to our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, coming to you each and every day here on KDSJ, and it's brought to you by our sponsors. That being said, Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. That's Locomotion. They're located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and the one we talk about the most because we're there most of the time. KDK's Chicken. They're located down at 989 South Razorback Road. Go see Keith and Kathy. Get some love. I say it's the best chicken and waffles in the South. They say it's not your mama's. Go meet us there or beat us there. That's KDK's Chicken at 989 South Razorback Road. But on to our featured interview. Arkansas's got a new hog, and we told you that 2022 class could be very, very special for Coach Pittman, Coach Davis, Coach Kendall Browse, just the whole staff, if you get what I'm saying, going forward here in Fayetteville. And they got a new one, man. He's part of that offensive line because it just means more. He was offered by Coach Sam Pittman at Georgia and was the first one to get the call from the head hog in Fayetteville. So we're going to bring him on all the way from Duncan, South Carolina, Barney High School. We had him on earlier, and we thought we'd bring him back. Eli Henderson. E, what's up, my man?
What's going on, Pat?
Let's talk business. You made that decision late last night around 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock your time. What went into that? As you just told me, you made your way to Fayetteville over this past weekend. Talk about that, and was it an easy decision?
It was a no-brainer. After I went out there and seen Fayetteville and seen the atmosphere out there, I kind of took a long look at the stadium, and I was like, man, this is me, you know?
Came down there, Arkansas, Arizona State, I believe, and Georgia were the three finalists. Break down a little bit about what, how you came about those three schools.
Well, it came down to just relationships. You know what I mean? A lot of phone calls, and you can like this past couple months, I've had a lot of phone calls with a lot of different coaches, a lot of different schools, and you can kind of tell who's real and who's not. And Coach Pittman and Coach Davis are some of the two most genuine men you're going to meet.
Now, when you step back over your career, I mean, Eli, you've had a lot of success playing the game of football. Went to a lot of camps, and like I said, had a lot of young success. You've moved on junior high and even extended it to the high school level. But to be able to commit to the University of Arkansas and a coach that I know you and Coach Pittman have quite the relationship. Talk about just what that moment was like when Mom, Dad, and yourself decided that Arkansas was the place you'd be.
It was special, and we kind of knew where I needed to be for a while now, but to sit down and say, hey, I'm done, I'm a Razorback, was a special and heavy, especially for my family. Mama and Daddy cried a little bit. I got choked up. Coach Davis and Coach Pittman were all excited and hooping and hollering, but it was a heavy moment. It was special.
Now, you just told me you caught a little in-state flag from the South Carolina and Clemson fans. How do you, and for the next 2 years, how do you plan on handling that situation? Or is this a situation that you're going to be 100% hauled, and no matter what?
Well, I told Coach Pittman last night. I'm a guy that thinks your word means more than anything. So when I say I'm committed to you, it's done. You can already put my name on the wall and get a locker ready. You know what I mean? So I'm there. You know what I mean? So
right.
I'll tell any college like I'll tell everybody. I appreciate it, but my heart's in Fayetteville.
Now, with that being said, that 22 class, you got some work to do. You got your recruiting goggles on now, or you got your pad out and know who you're gonna go after?
That's my job now, man.
Well, Eli, congratulations on your decision to make it so early in your junior year. I know it wasn't a hard one, but, man, it's not a 4-year decision. You made a 40-year decision. I want to congratulate you and understand, hey, them South Carolina people, forget that, man. Tell them you coming to Fayetteville, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Eli. Thanks for taking time out. Congratulations, my man, and looking forward to having you in the Ville. Hey, keep me posted on what's going on with Eli Henderson once this football season gets kicked off.
For sure.
All right. Thanks for joining, bud, and congratulations once again.
Appreciate it, Pat. Have a good one.
That was the newest hog in the R-Time 22 class out of Duncan, South Carolina, Barney High School. Eli Henderson, center, Demetrius, 6'4", 295 pounds. And the kid plays center. He's recruited to Arkansas to be a center, and I'm telling you, when you watch film of him, whoo, man, I'm looking at that 22 offensive line group that they could have. Could get pretty scary around here. Could get pretty scary.
Yeah, I think offensive line is a position we're probably never going to have to worry about for a while. And I think the beauty of it, and I don't think Brad Davis is leaving anytime soon, but, it's special to have a head coach that always can fill that role because it's so hard to find a legit offensive line coach. But to have him as your head coach and always know that he has the ability to hire, even a low-level coach and train him up to be a great offensive line coach just with the knowledge he has. I think it's special. You don't find that situation every day, and I think it's really going to pay dividends for the University of Arkansas.
And you also got to take into account that this head coach, that he was your offensive line coach at Oklahoma. So a lot of things that you're starting to teach and develop kids when you get them into your program are things that you learn from Coach Sam Pittman, and I really feel like that combination going forward, when you have a head coach and an offensive line coach that are so intertwined and so closely connected, I mean, that's the makings of a pretty good recruiting tandem, and they're going to be hard. I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for offensive linemen, and especially with what happened just this past draft with Andrew Thomas going fourth and Big Wilson going 29th in the first round. Kids realize when they hear Coach Pittman's on the phone, they're definitely wanting to hear what Coach Pittman says. There's not been a kid that we've talked to or had on our show, Demetrius, that does not think Coach Pittman is the best, absolute best offensive line coach in college football. And they understand that you come play for Pitt, you got a chance to be a high first rounder. But we're going to step away, get a real quick break, and then we're going to tie a bow on this thing. You got questions? How do you feel? SEC, ACC, Big 12, football season, should it happen? Is it a postponement? Is that what you like? I mean, where's your take on this? You can hit us up on our Facebook page, or you can hit us up on YouTube Live, or just call us. That's 601-7400, area code 479. Shoot them to us. We'll be back in a moment. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, and it's the Tuesday edition on KDSJ 479. What up, bud? Show me. Yeah. Back here at On the Hill with our final segment of today's Tuesday edition. And we just rounded up our Hall Guys segment as we had on in the 115 segment. We had on Braden Joyner, the 2023 offensive guard out of Oxford, Alabama, was recently offered by Brad Davis, Coach Jimmy Smith, and Sam Pittman of the University of Arkansas. This guy's going to be a big-time prospect. I'm telling you, at 14 years old, 6'4", 305, started 6A football as a 14-year-old on the state's top football team. 14 years old, people. 14. Keeping an eye on BJ. And also, too, we had on the newest Arkansas commit in that our-time 22 class. He said yes to Sam Pittman. Eli Henderson of Duncan, South Carolina, Byron High School, is going to be recruited to Arkansas to play center, and I think he's going to be a dang good center and an even better recruiter. From the conversations I had with him late last night, he's got his eye on a couple of young men that he's really close to down there in the South that could really be difference makers for the university. But we have a guy in, a special guest in the studio once again. Jared, what's up, man? Arkansas and the Big Ten comes out, I believe. I don't know if they've decided to cancel the season or whatnot, but where are you at with, should we play the season, not play the season? What say you on that?
Well, that power is a lot higher than this guy here, but I tell you, when it comes to playing, I think it's, one kid, is it worth just one kid getting sick and going down with it that could have been prevented? Right. You have to look at it that angle. I think Pittman and his staff is doing a great job of kind of seeing this writing on the wall. Right. They're looking ahead. They're getting some of these young kids. You go, gosh, 14's awfully young to sign, but next time Arkansas might be playing football, that kid might be 16. And you know what? We may have needed those early signatures to really get an excitement going. Right. Because, football, this break may be one of the best things to happen for Arkansas to get to push reset on the program. I mean, we left a pretty ugly situation. Right. And, time heals some wounds.
Right. Well, and I totally agree. I think it's a situation. If you play, fine. If you don't, I think as long as you have a plan, if you cancel the collegiate football season, if you have a plan to where these student athletes will not be scratching their head, not wondering what's the next move for their lives. I think that's the biggest thing. It's what's the plan if we don't have football now. And I've heard, and this is just speculation, but the NFL is eyeing Saturday primetime spots to scoop up if there's no collegiate football. So
I'd be fine with
man,
that. But I tell you, hard work is the great equalizer.
Absolutely,
Pat. And,
absolutely.
This Pittman staff's working hard right now. And
now, Jared, I want to ask you this.
I like it.
Say Scott Frost came out, Nebraska's head coach came out and stated that they still have a plan to play football if it's having to go to another conference. Say Nebraska goes to the Big 12. Iowa wants to play as well. They go to the Big 12. Okay. Now, if
I think
Penn State wants to go to the ACC, now you get that interstate rival with Pitt. Who's to say Ohio State couldn't make its way to the SEC for one season?
I think we're a long ways away.
I think when all is said and done, I really feel like the NCAA will find themselves on the outside looking in, and we're about to have some super conferences align themselves, and really start doing things without.
Absolutely. If
main
those
office.
that did not like the NCAA, this is their opportunity to break up.
Emert just did not do himself. He's not doing anything. I mean, they just don't have a plan.
No.
Just do not have a plan.
I think it's tough for these schools it's bold. Scott Frost, what he came out and said was a very bold move.
Right.
Don't be 6-5 and expect to get the better bowl. I think we're going to see some tough moves because of that. But I think he said what a lot of the coaches are thinking, especially in these smaller rural university towns. It's easier to say that in Fayetteville and Lincoln than maybe Southern Cal or Tallahassee. Those are tough places to make that bold statement.
Well, I tell you what, that's going to wrap up our show today. I mean, those final words by Mr. Jared was really, really good, D. And I think we're going to wrap it up. We want to give a shout out to our guest. That being said, Braden Joyner, the 2023 offensive guard, newly offered Razorback by Coach Brad Davis, Sam Pittman, and the entire Arkansas staff. He's out of Oxford, Alabama, Oxford High School. Keep an eye on BJ for the next 3 years of high school football. I think Arkansas, you hear Arkansas's name linked with this young man for quite some time. And then the newest Arkansas commit in the 2022 class, center prospect, Eli Henderson. He's out of Duncan, South Carolina, Barney High School. Been a prospect on the radar for Coach Sam Pittman for quite some time, and he said WPS late last night, and I'm pretty sure they're excited about that as well. Also want to give a shout out to our sponsors, as this would not be possible without you guys. That being said, Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. That's Locomotion. They're located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, the one we always talk about. KDK's Chicken. They're down at 989 South Razorback Road. Go see Keith and Kathy and get a plate of that love. They said on the building, it's not your mama's. We always say they have the best chicken and waffles in the South. Meet us there or beat us there. That's KDK's Chicken at 989 South Razorback Road. For my producer, Demetrius Johnson, and all our viewers and listeners, thank you guys for support. Just keep it real. We definitely always going to keep it real. We'll be back with more tomorrow for our Wednesday edition, but we're going to get out of here for a second and go prepare for that. This has been On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. You guys have a blessed one. You know what the last word's going to be. Let's get it.